Remember, Satyendra Jain, AAP leader and former Delhi minister, has been placed under arrest by the anti-corruption branch of the Delhi government, and this is in connection to a Delhi Jal Board scam that took place. This dates back to 2024 when Mr. Satyendra Jain was the minister and also the chairman of the Delhi Jal Board. Along with him, other officials, ex-officials of the Delhi Jal Board have been arrested as well. There are a lot of allegations that includes manipulation of the tender conditions, restrictive specifications and criminal conspiracy as well. Now we're given to understand that Mr. Satyendra Jain has moved court and he's seeking bail. That's the latest that we are getting for you, the breaking input on this particular story that we are tracking very, very closely. Let's quickly shift focus to that. The breaking input coming in. Satyendra Jain has sought bail now, has rejected the demand of remand. And not just Satyendra Jain, others have also challenged remand. The bail plea will be taken up for hearing any time now is what we're given to understand. Let's go across to Bhavtosh, who's getting us more details. Bhavtosh, tell us more about this plea in the court. Satyendra Jain and others are seeking relief from custody. They're challenging remand and custody and saying that they want bail. And any time now, I believe, the matter will be taken up.
Yes, Swati, in fact, what has happened in the case is that in a dramatic turn of events, ACB arrested 6 individuals, including Satyendra Jain in this case last evening, and subsequent to that, all of them were produced in the court, and ACB, without seeking their custodial remand, asked that all of them should be taken, should be shifted to jail, and only for one accused they said that they want his custody. Now, ED was the one, it was in fact ACB that had filed the predicate offence in this case, in which they filed an FIR under various sections of IPC, and also they had filed a case of Prevention of Corruption Act. After that, ACB had carried out their investigation. On basis of that, Enforcement Directorate had filed their own money laundering case and then subsequently filed the charge sheet. Now, the allegations are that a managing director of a private company, Eurotech Environmental Private Limited, had paid a bribe of around 6.3 crore rupees, and subsequent to that, this company got funds, or at least made illegal profit of around 10.3 crore rupees, and proceeds of crime is around 7.3 crore rupees. Now,
all right, Bhavtosh, do stay on with us. Like you said, as far as the allegations are concerned, one is, of course, manipulation of the tender conditions, restrictive specifications, and a criminal conspiracy involved as well. Now, the ACB claims that they have electronic evidence, the communication that happened between the officials and private individual. They also claim that there is an entire money trail that they've managed to uncover and trace. So the allegation that is being leveled at this moment is that all of this was done to benefit a particular technology provider. Let's break down the details of what Bhavtosh was also telling us in terms of the allegations that there were commissions and bribes involved. This is the inside scoop that we are getting for you. Number one, 6.73 crore alleged bribe paid in the Delhi Jal Board tenders. These are the Enforcement Directorate findings. Number two, rules allegedly tweaked for IFAS technology. Finding number 3, bogus invoices allegedly used to mask payments. Number 4, 9.96 crore unjust gains from alleged manipulation. And finding number 5, 17.70 crore alleged total proceeds of crime. Let's go back to Bhavtosh if he's still with us on the broadcast. Bhavtosh, that's the inside scoop we're getting on how much money was paid and the technology provider for whom the conditions were manipulated. There were restrictions placed so that the tender would go to a particular entity, a particular individual. Now, many are also asking, Bhavtosh, that why did it take so much time for the arrest to take place? What is the ED connection?
yes, Swati, in fact, this has caused a lot of controversy. The fact that Enforcement Directorate had filed the charge sheet in this case, and ACP very belatedly had made the arrest. Remember, the secondary agency in this case, Enforcement Directorate, had already filed the charge sheet, and ACB, which had filed the predicate offence, the FIR in this case, yesterday in dramatic turn of events arrested Satyendra Jain and other accused in this case, and that's the reason why Satyendra Jain has said that the timing of arrest should be questioned because Punjab would be going to polls, and Arvind Kejriwal has already said that because of the Home Minister that these arrests have been made, and that's what Aam Aadmi Party has also been saying. We have to wait and see what would be the BJP reaction, and one must remember, but the Enforcement Directorate had said that a bribe of around 6.3 crore rupees have been paid as far as this case is concerned.
Right, Bhavtosh, stay on with us. Like you said, yes, there are political reactions coming in, the allegations of vendetta, allegations of BJP being scared because of the upcoming Punjab polls being levelled by the Aam Aadmi Party. So let's take our viewers through the reactions that we have, the political reactions on this big story.
दिल्ली में पिछले 10 सालों में अरविंद केजरीवाल ने भ्रष्टाचार की दुकान चला रखी थी, चाहे वो स्कूल्स में कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ क्लासरूम्स का स्कैम हो, लिकर स्कैम हो, ऐसे पता नहीं कितने स्कैम्स इन लोगों ने कर रखे थे। एक भी मंत्रालय का कार्यभार नहीं संभाला। उनका मोडस ऑपरेंडी बिल्कुल क्लियर है कि वो मंत्रियों द्वारा करप्शन कराते थे और उसके बाद जैसे ही मंत्री एक्सपोज हो तो वो ठीकरा पूरा का पूरा मंत्री के ऊपर फोड़ देते हैं। अभी जो स्वीज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट का स्कैम सामने आया है दिल्ली जल बोर्ड का, ये बहुत ही ज्यादा सीरियस स्कैम है। सत्येंद्र जैन पार्टी के लिए, आम आदमी पार्टी के लिए कलेक्शन एजेंट का काम कर रहे हैं पंजाब के अंदर।
मैं तो शुरू से कहता आया हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार विपक्ष को कुचलने में लगी है। चारों तरफ जो देखने में आता है, सारी जांच एजेंसियां चुनाव के टाइम पे एक्टिव कर दी जाती हैं। अरे ये बताइए ना, बीजेपी के ज़्यादातर राज्यों में बीजेपी की सरकार है, सारी सरकारी ठेकों में बीजेपी के लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं, आज तक कोई मुकदमा दर्ज नहीं हुआ। वहाँ जांच नहीं होगी, ना वहाँ ईडी काम करेगी, ना इनकम टैक्स करेगा, ना सीबीआई करेगी। ले दे के सारा विपक्ष के पीछे लगे हुए हैं।
जब सरकार थी तब भी गिरफ्तारियां हो रही थी, इससे पूर्व में भी जेल भेजे गए और अब जेल भेजा जा रहा है। यानी कि ये सरकार सिर्फ ये बताना दिखाना चाहती है कि देखो जेल ये जा रहा है, इन्होंने घोटाला किया है। बिहार का वो घटना तो याद ही होगा कि कितने का डस्टबिन और कितने का बेचा। निश्चित तौर पे इस देश को आंखों से ना दिखने वाला, कानून से ना सुनने वाला और मुंह से ना बोलने वाला देश बना दिया है।
आम आदमी पार्टी की तत्कालीन सरकार ने ये अपने पूरे कार्यकाल में दिखा दिया कि उनकी पूरी की पूरी नीयत केवल अपने प्रचार प्रसार और भ्रष्टाचार की थी। आज जब इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज ने सत्येंद्र जैन जी और उनके साथ 4 और अभियुक्तों को अरेस्ट करा है, तो दिल्ली की जनता को न्याय मिलेगा और कहीं ना कहीं वो अपने इस पाप को इस प्रकार की बयानबाजी में उसका आवरण देकर छिपाने की कोशिश करेंगे।
Bhavtosh continues to be with us on the broadcast. Political reactions aside, and charges of vendetta aside, the timing of the arrest has also generated a lot of curiosity, with the Aam Aadmi Party actually connecting all of this to Punjab polls and the BJP saying that this is nothing but another proof that the Aam Aadmi Party has always been involved in corruption, whether it's Delhi or anywhere else that they have power.
Swati, as far as the allegations are concerned, that's what BJP has said. But coming back to what is this case all about, the Enforcement Directorate had carried out its own investigation. We have accessed those details. What the Enforcement Directorate has said, that there were tenders that were given for the establishment as well as augmentation and cleanliness of at least 4 water treatment plants or sewage treatment plants across the capital. Now, there was only one company that managed to get this water treatment, sewage treatment plant, that was Eurotech Environmental Private Limited, but it was the manner in which that company got the tender. That company got the tender. Only that company got the bidding cleared, and ED had that point of time had said that around 6.73 crores of rupees of bribe was paid. They then subsequently said that their investigation revealed that around 10.7 crore rupees of illicit profit was done by this company, and subsequently they also said that they generated proceeds of crime of worth 5.3 crore rupees. Now this prosecution complaint was filed last December, and they also attached assets worth at least 5.3 crore.
Sharing those details. Also, let's also keep a very close watch on what transpires in court, since Mr. Jain and others have moved court seeking bail. Let's move on now. Shift our focus to Rajasthan, where the former Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Ashok Gehlot, has thrown open a challenge which goes well beyond the state of Rajasthan. So Mr. Ashok Gehlot says that in the upcoming local body polls, the Congress party must give at least 50% tickets to Gen Z and young faces. He says that the entire political system, the country also, is going through a generational change, a generational shift, and political parties must accommodate that. They must make way for it. Listen in.
तो मैंने कहा 50% से ज़्यादा टिकट जैन जी को, युवाओं को दें, क्योंकि जैन जी आने के बाद में एक पूरे देश के अंदर जमाना बदल रहा है, नई पीढ़ी आगे आ रही है, तो सीनियर का अनुभव काम लो, उनको भी साथ रखो, पर जो जैन जी कहला दीजिए, युवा पीढ़ी कह दीजिए, इसका जो महत्व है उससे कोई इनकार कर नहीं सकता.
All right, so interesting reaction there coming in from Mr. Ashok Gehlot. So the question is, will the senior leaders in the Congress party, will the High Command itself accept this suggestion coming in from Mr. Ashok Gehlot and make way for the new generation, the young faces, since Ashok Gehlot says that they deserve more space? Will that space be created? BJP has also, in fact, reacted on this, and BJP says, will this apply to the Congress party first? Let's listen into the reaction coming in.
बहुत अच्छी बात है गहलोत साहब की. तो गहलोत साहब ने देश और राजस्थान के सामने कह दिया है कि वो चुनाव नहीं लड़ रहे हैं क्योंकि वो जैन जी नहीं है. उनके पुत्र भी चुनाव नहीं लड़ रहे हैं क्योंकि वो भी जैन जी नहीं है. सचिन पायलट भी चुनाव नहीं लड़ रहे हैं अशोक गहलोत जी के अनुसार क्योंकि वो भी जैन जी नहीं है. डोटासरा जी और जूली जी भी चुनाव नहीं लड़ रहे क्योंकि वो भी जैन जी नहीं है. राहुल गांधी, प्रियंका गांधी और सोनिया गांधी जी भी चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे क्योंकि वह भी जैन जी नहीं है.
We have another reaction coming in from the BJP where Mr. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi says that for the Congress party, this is a much bigger debate and a much bigger issue than the Gen Z representation. For the Congress party, the problem is of leadership and dynasty. Listen in.
ग्रैंड ओल्ड पार्टी की एक्सपायरी डेट भी एक्सपायर होती जा रही है. अब अगर ग्रैंड ओल्ड पार्टी की एक्सपायरी डेट भी एक्सपायर होती जा रही है तो उसके बाद आप नए नए प्रयोग करते रहेंगे तो डायनेस्टी के डिफॉल्टेड रपोर्ट शंखों का जो डिज्नीलैंड है वो इस तरह के प्रयोग करता रहेगा और पिटता रहेगा, डिमोलिश होता रहेगा.
Now, amid this Congress BJP face-off, the Samajwadi Party has also reacted. Samajwadi Party says whether Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Kharge will make way for new faces is an internal matter of the Congress Party. But Samajwadi Party feels that the political parties need to focus on what the youth of this country actually wants.
ये कांग्रेस का इंटरनल मामला है. क्या राहुल गांधी जी मानेंगे, क्या खड़गे जी मानेंगे, क्या उनके राजस्थान के नेता क्या सुझाव है, ये कांग्रेस अपना इंटरनल सर्वे करके, और हवा किस तरफ बह रही है, देश क्या चाहता है, देश का युवा क्या चाहता है, इस पे मेरे ख्याल से सारे राजनीतिक दलों को आने वाले समय में काम करना ही पड़ेगा.
And then there are those in the Congress party who actually are backing this idea, the suggestion that has come in from Mr. Ashok Gehlot of 50% tickets to be given to Gen Z, to young faces. Let's listen in.
क्योंकि जनरेशन चेंज हो रहा है और हमेशा जनरेशन चेंज जब होता है तो उसमें जो जेनजी होते हैं उनको एक प्राथमिकता मिलती है, उनको अवसर दिया जाना चाहिए. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि अशोक गहलोत जी ने ठीक ही कहा है कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा नौजवानों को आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए. लेकिन साथ में ये भी हम लोग को देखना होगा क्योंकि हम पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हैं तो जो भी उम्मीदवार हमारा खड़ा हो उसके जीतने की संभावना होनी चाहिए, कम से कम 50% संभावना होनी चाहिए. अगर हम सिर्फ जनजी के नाम पर लोगों को खड़ा कर देंगे, उम्मीदवार बना देंगे तो वो भी उचित नहीं होगा.
Let's go across to Niyamika. She's joining us in the broadcast with more details. This suggestion from Mr. Ashok Gehlot has actually led to a very interesting debate. There are those in the Congress party who are welcoming this suggestion, but at the same time also saying that, winnability is also a big criteria, big factor, how candidates are chosen, whether they will be accepted by the people or not. And BJP, on the other hand, says that the Congress party should lead by example. It should first apply to the Congress.
Well, yes, the statement which has been given by Mr. Ashok Gehlot is a question upon the Congress party itself, and even upon Mr. Ashok Gehlot. As for that reason, firstly, he should answer that whether he is ready to give up his seat. He is ready to give up the post which he is holding for so many years. Because when the time had come when Sachin Pilot was demanding for a position in Rajasthan, at that point in time, we have seen that how Mr. Ashok Gehlot was very much adamant, and now he is demanding that 50% tickets needs to be given to the Gen Zs is what suggestion he wants to give to the party high command. There are many leaders within the Congress party who have also supported this particular statement, who have also come out in support of what Mr. Ashok Gehlot has said, but a counter is also coming in from the Congress party itself, as Mr. Tariq Anwar has said that being a political party, we cannot give all the tickets on the basis of the age of any candidate, and winnability should be an equal criteria for
Right.
when the ticket distribution will be done. So all of these matters have already been taken up by some other leaders as well. But what Mr. Ashok Gehlot has said, whether it will be applicable in the Congress party is yet to be seen. Whether the High Command is going to take a note of this
Absolutely.
suggestion.
All right, Niyamika, you keep tracking that development. We'll come back to you for more updates. For the moment, we are moving on. We have some breaking inputs lined up on the broadcast. We're given to understand that there was a heated exchange between Congress MP Imran Masood and Samajwadi Party MLA Ashu Malik, and this happened over taking turn to ask questions, and all of that was recorded on camera, the squabble between the INDI allies. Let's take a look at that sequence.
आप बीच में इंटरवेन नहीं करो। आप सवाल मेरा है नहीं तो आप नहीं तो हम आप चेयर से नहीं आप चेयर से अनुमति नहीं आप चेयर से अनुमति लेकर के पूछें। अब ये जब मान्य सदस्य सवाल मेरा है वो क्यों बोल रहे हैं? अरे ये भी कोई बात है, आपका सवाल है, कोई दूसरे का चित्र नहीं है, ये क्या बात हो गई? आप भी पूछिए, आप दिशा की मीटिंग है, कोई दिशा की मीटिंग नहीं है। नहीं दिशा की मीटिंग है, नहीं हम नहीं बता सकते। नहीं ये नियम से चलेगी, नियम से चलेगी, नहीं नियम से चलेगी, चेयर की अनुमति के बिना नहीं, बाहर करिए। नहीं चेयर की अनुमति के बिना नहीं। पहले माननीय सदस्य आप अपने सवाल पूरा करना, उसके बाद आप सवाल तो हमारा है, जब हम संतुष्ट नहीं है जवाब से आप आगे थोड़ी ना बढ़ गए ना। मदद की तो आप गलत जानकारी को दे रहे हैं।
समाजवादी पार्टी के विधायक आशु मालिक और कांग्रेस के सांसद इमरान मसूद में तीखी बहस हो गई। दिशा बैठक के दौरान आशु मालिक के एक सवाल का जवाब दे रहे थे, जिसपे इमरान मसूद ने आपत्ति जताई। वो कह रहे हैं कि आपको चेयर से परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी। दोनों ही पार्टी के अगर नेताओं में इस तरह से विवाद रहेगा, आप लोग गठबंधन की बात करते हैं कि गठबंधन एक साथ है, तो क्या गठबंधन जो है सिर्फ कैमरे के लिए है और हकीकत कुछ और है ज़मीन पर, क्योंकि दोनों ही पार्टी के नेता आपस में लड़ रहे हैं?
नहीं, इंडिया अलायंस पूरी तरह एक साथ है और माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी के नेतृत्व में उत्तर प्रदेश में जो भी सहयोगी दल है उनकी सबकी निष्ठा है और सबका भरोसा माननीय अखिलेश यादव जी में है। और मैंने देखा वो छोटा सा वीडियो में ज़्यादा ध्यान से नहीं देख पाया। मुझे लगता है कि सार्वजनिक जीवन में इतना आवेश ठीक नहीं है। इमरान मसूद जी को थोड़ा सा संयम बरतना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो सवाल जब आशु मलिक जी के साथ था तो जवाब भी आशु मलिक जी।
Interesting reaction coming in from the Samajwadi Party leader who says that, this keeps happening. He was trying to downplay the entire episode, but also had a piece of advice for Imran Masood. And he says that Imran Masood must practice restraint. Itna gussa theek nahi hai. It's interesting, the sequence of events. If you look closely, the Samajwadi Party MLA was not very happy with the answer that he got to his question and wanted to pose another question, a follow-up question. Imran Masood intervenes, says that you have to seek permission before you ask a question. And that's what led to this squabble. Adeep is getting us more details. Adeep, Samajwadi Party, of course, is, not focusing too much on it. I am talking about the reaction that came in. The leader does, however, has a suggestion for Imran Masood to practice restraint, especially when it comes to public life.
Will certainly see, Swati, when it comes to Samajwadi Party has been saying that if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, and then it's the Samajwadi Party who's going to lead the alliance. And when a dispute is coming in public between both the leaders of Samajwadi Party and the Congress Party, Samajwadi Party is trying to defend their own MLA. They are saying that Imran Masood should have some kind of patience, and he should to behave properly when he is speaking in a public public life. He is the member of parliament and he should behave like one. So in fact, when the question was put out to the Samajwadi Party leader MLA Ashu Malik, he started answering the question, but it was Imran Masood who interrupted him. He's saying that he should first take permission from the chair before speaking on the issue, to which Ashu Malik objected it, and now Samajwadi Party is also coming in defense of their own MLAs. They are saying
we have a reaction coming in from Congress MP Imran Masood. Let's listen into what he has to say. What is his version?
या फिर कोई तीखी नोकझोंक नहीं, ना कोई नोकझोंक है, ना कुछ वहाँ ऐसा हुआ। सब लोगों को बोलने का मौका देना मेरी जिम्मेदारी थी, मैंने सबको बोलने का मौका दिया, बस इतनी सी बात। कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस समाजवादी पार्टी आशू मलिक के साथ नहीं, वो तो इस तरह की चीजें वहाँ इकरासन भी थी, वहाँ उमर अली खान भी थे, तो मैं सबको बोलने का भी चाहता हूँ कि सब बोले। वहाँ शाहनवाज भी थे, या आशू मलिक नहीं बोलने दे रहे थे किसी को। छोड़िए ना, ये इन चीज़ों का कोई औचित्य नहीं। अच्छा, दीसा की बैठक में कल एक तीखी नोकझोंक देखने को मिली है, क्या ये कोई कलह का वो है या फिर?
All right, let's move on and shift our focus to some breaking inputs coming in from the state of Karnataka, where BJP and JDS MLCs protested in the Legislative Council. This protest was against Karnataka Minister B. Nagendra. We're given to understand that BJP and JDS MLCs were seeking sacking of Minister B. Nagendra. Now, this is over his alleged involvement in the Maharshi Valmiki Development Corporation scam. The BJP and JDS MLCs are insisting that Mr. Nagendra be removed from the cabinet. Let's go across to Akshara, who's getting us more details. So, BJP and JDS, they're seeking accountability and also demanding that the minister be sacked.
Well, yes, absolutely. Even before the starting of this assembly and the council session, the BJP leaders and the JDS leaders had demanded the resignation of B. Nagendra. They had also given an open call for protest and stated that they would proceed to disrupt both the assembly and the council regarding the resignation of this particular minister, B. Nagendra, who is said to be involved in this Maharshi Valmiki scam. At the very same time, you had the statement coming in from the Chief Minister himself stating that he had asked the BJP and the JDS leaders in order to move an assembly notice, and after that he said that after they moved an assembly notice that they would go and respond to that, but they stated the fact that B. Nagendra would not be sacked from the cabinet. That's the final stand of the Karnataka state government regarding this matter. So yes, BJP and the JDS leader continue to stage protest today at the council. The BJP and the JDS MLC
council, Akshara, we're given to understand that the BJP also protested in Mandya. More breaking inputs coming in. Do stay on with us, Akshara. I'll come to you for details on that as well. So, BJP workers have also protested. They staged a protest in Mandya demanding the resignation of Minister B. Nagendra. BJP workers attempted to march towards Congress office and were detained by police. Let's go back to Akshara, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. Akshara, you were talking about the protest at the Legislative Council. We're now given to understand that this is not just limited to that. In Mandya as well, similar scenes were witnessed.
Well, yes, absolutely. As I was mentioning, the BJP is upping its ante against the Karnataka state government. They are stating that if even in the assembly as well, if the Karnataka state government and all the MLAs and MLCs wants to discuss any other issue pertaining to drought or any other issue for that matter, first they have to sack B. Nagendra, and then we'll go and discuss this particular issue. So yes, inside the assembly as well, the BJP and the JDS are mounting pressure on the Karnataka state government to sack B. Nagendra. At the very same time, on the outskirts as well, in Mandya and also in parts of Bengaluru, the BJP and the JDS leaders are demanding the sacking of B. Nagendra, and said that they will continue to protest until and unless B. Nagendra has been sacked from the cabinet.
So while the BJP and JDS are protesting and demanding that he be sacked, Mr. Nagendra be sacked from the cabinet, the Chief Minister of Karnataka has defended him. He is backing B. Nagendra and asks the opposition to bring in a notice in the assembly if they want B. Nagendra to be removed, and that's when the government will explain why he was inducted in the cabinet. So the Chief Minister of Karnataka there defending B. Nagendra. Listen in.
BJP ಅವರು JDS ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ಯ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡ್ರಾಮಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ, ನಿನ್ನೆನೂ ಹೇಳ್ದೋ, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಾಗೇಂದ್ರನ ಯಾಕೆ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮಗೆ, ನಾವು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾಗೇಂದ್ರ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕೇಂದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿವಿಧ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಇರೋರು ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವನ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಡಿ ಇವರು ಏನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಇವನ ಪಾತ್ರ ಏನು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ.
That we are slipping into a very short break. Lot more lined up on the other side. Stay on with us.